Hey everybody, Travis from Traverse Guitars here. Sorry it's been a little bit since our last video. It's been crazy busy with customer stuff. But this is something that I've wanted to do for the channel for a while. I will start off by saying I am not sponsored by StewMac or anybody else's that I'm using. This is just stuff that I recommend. And this is one of StewMac's new body kits. They have everything you need to build a guitar in here. Whether or not I use everything in the kit is going to be one thing, but I am going to try to use the bases of their kit. At the very least, I'm using their body, I'm using their neck. So will I use more? Possibly, possibly not. But this whole kit, I think, goes for around $250, which is just an incredible price. I have not opened it yet, so today is going to be just an opening, revealing, showing you guys what I have, and then kind of giving you an idea of what I'm going to be going for when I build this guitar, and then each video will just be another step in the process as we build this guitar. Everything from doing the fretwork on the neck, to painting the body, painting the headstock, logos, all that stuff. So, without further ado, let's get going. Quick shout out, I do want to say if you guys have been enjoying the videos, please go ahead and put a like and then also hit that bell icon, subscribe to the channel. That way you know when the next videos come out. That goes a long, long way. It helps out so much for us to just build a presence on YouTube, which is really what we're going for. And the bigger presence we have, the more videos we can push out. So thank you so much ahead of time for doing that. Let's cut stuff open. Right off the bat, I mean, I've never had issues with StewMac shipping anything to me. Everything they've always shipped has always been there. It's never really broken. Besides like an aerosol can one time where the tip was broken off, but why would they have opened that up and tested it before they sent it, right? So I certainly don't blame them for that, and they were super quick to replace it, like incredibly quick. I just sent them a quick email. They said, so sorry, send us the order number and we'll replace it right away. They did. It was here like 2 days later. This came very quickly. Again, it was about $250. I do the StewMac program, which allows free shipping all year, and they also give you a little price discounts on a couple things. They put the fragile stickers on here, but let's see what it looks like from the inside. And it looks very well packed so far. Very well packed. Just got to get past my camera light, huh? All right. Excellent. All right, so we got an assembly instructions, which is great. So there are a few things here. They tell you right away, you got to create your own headstock shape. You do have to prep the neck. You have to seat frets. You have to do a fret level. You got to crown, you got to polish them. You got to prep everything for finish. You got to spray a finish. You got to spray a paint and then a finish if you want. There's some great resources in here. Obviously, they have a lot of the tools and stuff you want to use for that. The nut needs to be filed on your own. So there's quite a few tools and stuff you'll need if you're doing this at home on your own. I am always an advocate for buying the right tool for the right job. I am not somebody who goes to hardware stores and buys, you know, cheap files that get the job done enough. I can't justify charging customers full price for stuff when I'm half price buying tools and stuff. So, all right, so let's take a look at the neck right away. Goofy headstock, but again, I think they shape it like this so that you can do what you want with it. I wish there was a little more to it. I wish it was a little longer. But we'll see. We'll make something cool out of this yet. We'll shape this pretty neat. Plastic nut, which is expected at $250. So one of those things we're probably not going to use is actually this nut, which they started to, they have the slots for you already, but I'm probably going to go ahead and put a tusk or a bone nut on this right away. It looks like we have nickel frets, which are just fine. The fret edges, you know, there's not a lot of fret sprout. The fretboard is rather dry, so I think if we just get some oil on this and get that going, that's going to swell right up. I'm just checking to make sure the neck is straight. Now we have a curve to it, which is just a truss rod adjustment, but other than that, there's no twisting or anything going on here, which is really good. So yeah, great to see. Now it looks like they give you a little baggie of a bunch of other things here. strings, which we will absolutely not use, unfortunately. Several screws and knobs, and our neck plate, all in here. We'll probably just use that neck plate. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's check out this box. All right, just tuners in here. So I don't think I'm gonna end up using these tuners. These are pretty low-end tuners. In fact, I recognize some of the markings on them. Just turning it already, I can feel that does not feel the way I want it to feel. I will probably end up putting higher-end tuners on this guitar. Will this work for a beginner? Absolutely, but I'm guessing if you're building your own guitar, you're probably not a beginner. You're gonna wanna upgrade those tuners. These things probably have at best like a 14:1 ratio, although don't quote me on that. I don't know what the ratio is for those tuners. They don't feel the best. It's gonna be a cheap Chinese tuner. It is what it is. It's the same with these strings. You know, these are these bulk cheap strings you can buy. Just not worth putting on. I'll probably use those strings to help align everything. I might use those strings to help kind of start a setup going, but those aren't gonna be the strings that go on it when I'm ready to play it for the first time. Let's go ahead and get this out of here and throw this box on the ground. All right, so we're back. So all I did was pull this out. I haven't looked it over yet. Besides the bridge, like I said, the bridge is screwed on. Obviously, we're gonna have to pull that off. It is nice to know that it's already screwed on for you. Just knowing that they set that for you as far as the scale length goes is great. This is specifically set to a Gibson scale length. So I'm gonna grab the neck. And one thing that I like to check on these, let's wait for a second. I'm just gonna pull, okay. So we're actually all wired up. We got a switch here. I actually really like these switches. I know they're cheap, but these box switches, the ones specifically the Korean made ones, I get them a lot from a vendor and really like them. They're very, very durable. They're more durable than the Chinese ones that are made. This is probably a Chinese one. Usually there's markings on it that says like made in Korea if it is something like that. And, you know, mini pots, a simple input jack, and we have very basic humbucker, a very basic single coil, kind of what you would expect for a kit at 250. We have the thinner wiring, things like that. There is a little bit of protection here with the tape. I'm probably not going to keep these pickups. In fact, I probably am gonna put my custom pickups in this right away. I will probably rewire the whole thing. I like to use cloth with wax wiring. We'll see as it goes on though. I think a humbucker single coil guitar would be really great to have in my arsenal, and if this build ends up going really well, this might be the one. So as I was stating before, we wanted to mess with this neck here. One of the first things I like to check when I get done with the body and I have a neck that's ready to go is how does it fit in the pocket? And we like a tight fit, but we also don't want it so tight we can't do anything. And that is a pretty darn tight fit. I'm gonna grab a ruler. Let's check our scale length here. So our scale length looks great too. The neck is in there very tight. As you can see, I don't have any worries about holding this guitar up. It's actually, honestly, a little bit too tight. If you think about it this way, if we're gonna put finish on this neck, there's no way we're getting that back in there. This was probably CNC routed, I guarantee it. As far as the inside goes, you can kind of tell from that, and the time that it would take to route this thing by hand and then ship it off would be kind of insane. We do have cleanup here if you're somebody who cares about this inside your guitar cavity. It's definitely good enough, especially at $250. It's really tough to find something wrong. Is this body ready to go? No. One of the things that I always tell people that I'm working with is you always want to see with your hands, and I just running my hand along here, we have a dip right away. It dips here, goes slightly back up. So we need to do some leveling. There is just fine wood fibers, which you can't see on my fingers, but I can just by running my hands over it. We definitely have a good amount of sanding to do. The back is a little rougher, so we have a good deal of sanding to do on the back too. As far as the levelness goes, The back seems to be much better than the top there, and maybe it was just a little fluke. Let's feel that again. Nope, it's definitely there. So yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of sanding that needs to happen here. This bodywood is very, very porous. So if you are planning on doing any sort of stain, paint or anything like that, and then a nitro, you're going to need to do some sort of grain fill and some sort of sealant on this. Otherwise, all these pores are just gonna soak all that stuff up like crazy. It's pretty common for porous wood. The maple on the back of here looks like there's some really tight grains. It's really tough to see, but there is the tiniest bit of flame. The grain in the fretboard is nice. There's just scratch marks from sanding and stuff in here, all stuff that you would need to take care of either way. This doesn't differ much from something that I would do if I had a piece of mahogany and I was gonna make a body out of it. Would my routing in the pocket and the cavity be a lot better? Yeah, I'm doing it by hand though. 3-piece body, in case you were wondering about that. I am one of those people that subscribes to the belief that 3-piece bodies are okay. Piecing together bodies is just fine. It creates really cool looking guitars. Overall, 250 bucks, 350 bucks. I don't remember the exact price. Anywhere in that ball, I would pay $350 for this kit. Any day, especially if I was somebody who was looking to build my very first guitar. We just got to know what goes into everything. So again, this is the first of many videos where we're going to start building this thing. I'm going to take you through every single step. We're going to sand this together. We're going to fill these pores together. We're going to do all those things. Next time you see me, chances are we're going to start with the neck. I think the neck's a great place to start. We're going to get this thing ready. We're going to get the frets seated. We're going to get everything leveled. Make sure this thing's kicking butt. And we'll shape the headstock. We'll get that whole thing sanded up. We'll leave that aside. We'll take care of the body after that. We'll do our paint. We'll do our coats, a clear on top. I'll show you how to sand that. I'll show you how to buff the clear coat out, both with a full-size StewMac buffer and with something that's a hand buffer. We'll do both ways, and we'll wire it all up. We'll get it set up. We'll keep it rocking, and I'll show you guys what we get for a finished product. I think that this has, as just the bones, has a ton of potential. So, thanks so much for watching. Again, my name's Travis with Traverse Music, and we appreciate you if you could just hit that like button and hit that bell icon and the subscribe button. That way you get notified when we have our next video on this guitar come out. Thanks so much, take care.